Welcome to a Prestige recap at long last. People are always asking how far along in the grind I am, and this seemed like a good time now that I'm mostly done with the coverage of multiplayer challenges, at least all the toughest ones. I think I'll have one more of those videos to go through everything I didn't cover. Anyway, where am I at? I know I used to do a thing in each CoD game where I recorded a check-in at every Prestige level. I didn't do that this time. It always felt kinda weird and repetitive to talk about stats and which weapons I was using at every Prestige. I had the Challenge Guide series to act as a road to 100%, and as for earning weapon camos, I just applied the same philosophy I always do. I work from the higher unlocks downward in order to always have a gun available to work on, so my first golds were things like the SOG and the Maddox, going down from there. So jumping to current day, I'm level 203, 9¼ days played, with some pretty terrible stats. A fat negative KD, as I've been acclimating to PC, although I can confidently say I have improved since launch, even taking into account fighting Christmas noobs perhaps making me think I'm better than I am. But I feel like now that I can use setups with good attachments, no more grinding out weapon levels and camos, I can throw together a class that abuses the crossbar, or something with high cal 2, any of that. I can play consistently well, so maybe before I'm done with this game I can get that depressing 0.8 something KD above 1. Not overly concerned about it though. Those stats are reflected in how infrequently I go on long kill streaks, with one sad and lonely relentless, a few 15 streaks, a good number of quad feeds at least, thanks Nuketown, 10 streaks, of course plenty of bloodthirsties, most common medal here being the one-shot kill, of course thanks to hardcore. Specialists, even the game calls me a boomer. I used battery a whole lot thanks to the challenges like wipeouts and equipment kills. I guess I'll look at the specialist usage breakdown later. Some very interesting medals down here. I'm sure there must be some people who have never even seen some of these, like a razor wire double kill, a double kill behind your barricade. Not that hard to do, I guess, but I typically plant that thing and run away. Ah, the shutdowns. Yeah, I'm up to 11 ruin shutdown medals. But what do I have on the challenge? We'll get to that in a moment. I don't have 10, spoilers. Score streaks, really nothing that interesting here, since it isn't like a combat record where you can see how many you've called in to calculate kills per use. Good old 21 bait takens, all through legitimately trapping care packages. I never needed to use that cheeky direct impact glitch, only did that in a private match to demonstrate. Anti-score streaks, cool, I guess. And game modes, not much to highlight here either. I've only gotten 2 more wipeouts since I stopped hunting for them, but I haven't played much controller domination, so that would make sense. Moving along, I did of course unlock Dark Matter at 8 days of playtime, much longer than most, I'm sure. I wasn't rushing it, but I finally got that done over the double XP weekend, all on live stream. I wasn't originally planning to save up weapons and unlock them all at once, but it just worked out that I had a good spread across a few categories in order to unlock a bunch of diamond camos all in one game, so I thought that'd be fun. I was thrown into a safeguard game where the enemy team was far better than me and my team, and I almost failed horribly to get the 10 or 11 total kills I needed to get in that game, but I somehow prevailed with only 15 seconds left, got that RK7 kill to unlock Dark Matter, with all those camo challenges adding up to a whopping 195,000 XP. Maybe if I wasn't sucking so much I could have broken 200k, but it was just for fun as a last minute idea. I wasn't trying to set a record. I'm sure somebody out there planned ahead and saved every weapon to do in one game. Then after getting Dark Matter, I used the rest of that double weapon XP weekend to max everything out, taking a look at this old camo spreadsheet, which I have kept up to date as promised. I've been checking off those reactive challenges whenever I get a variant. Plenty of satisfying green here. I'm halfway on the demon and only recently unlocked the SWAT, but I'll finish those off eventually. And unlike Black Ops 3, I guess I'll use the DLC melee weapons as well, since melee's so goddamn overpowered in this game. That might be more of a PC thing, because not everyone agrees when I say that. I don't like that DLC melee weapons are encouraging people to melee more. I actually think that's a big problem with the game, just like Black Ops 3, but that's a whole different rant. I also did knock out the Gemmed Out challenge. I added that to the sheet, and it might be the most useful thing about it, since you actually do have to keep track of your progress for Gemmed Out, unless you do it in order. If you don't know, Gemmed Out is the Dark Ops challenge for unlocking the highest tier of Dark Matter, as in the original purple, on every primary weapon, which used to be a crazy hard challenge when you needed to go on a 30 gun streak to do that, but now that you only need 30 kills in one game, not so challenging. I like that they changed the camo. I don't think they should have changed the challenge to match. There were some crazy people who did it in its original form, but I guess I'm not complaining, it's much more my speed now, and it gave a fun reason to go through all the weapons again. 30 kills is no problem for most guns, like whenever a safeguard game goes the distance, I'll typically have 40 to 80 kills depending on the map and gun, or you can just win a free-for-all with all weapon kills, a good way to guarantee 30 if you're good enough for it. I also found Hardcore Dom to make it pretty easy with the faster time to kill, typically resulting in more kills. Or finally, they recently brought back an endurance mosh pit once again, so anyone struggling with those 10 equipment kills in one game and all those things where I recommended waiting for endurance, well, now's the time, and it makes gemmed out very straightforward as well. Endurance hardpoint especially goes on for a year and a half. You shouldn't run out of time. Well, we can move on from that spreadsheet. How about taking a quick look at specialist usage? Without a full combat record, this will have to do. Going in approximate order of most used, battery has to be at the top just for all those challenges like I mentioned, and firebreak as well. I used a lot of torque after the buff he got a while back, but much less now after the addition of Zero. Crash is my default pick now almost all the time. Prophet I used for a bit for headshots at the beginning, but got bored of it and took my time with Dark Matter. Surprised I haven't used Recon more. Then not a whole lot of Ruin, Nomad, or Ajax. Zero only used a couple times when that came out. And finally, Seraph. For some reason, I have never picked Seraph. Level 200, by the way. I know the tac deploy is vital for many objective modes, but a teammate usually takes care of it, or I've been going for some other challenge, and the Annihilator is good, but I guess kinda boring? I don't know. Sorry, Seraph. Maybe someday. Although now, ever since I noticed, I've been avoiding Seraph on purpose because I think it's funny to keep it that way. Well, let's move on to the challenges then, and well, I am the 99%. Some heist and S&D wins, I could knock that out no problem. If that was holding me back from 100%, believe you me, I'd have it done in a jiffy. But it isn't the problem, so I've been taking my time. I'll be at 99 for a while longer. Throwback to Black Ops 3, when I recall making a 99% video, and my final challenge was the one where you needed to get mothership support gunner kills, so you had to hop into someone else's mothership, and that was such a rare luck-based occurrence that I just didn't get it done until someone offered to party up and earn some motherships to help me get the 100%. Well, this time the thing holding me back isn't as fun, and can't be accomplished with a little bit of teamwork. Unless you count the illegal kind. Yeah, I don't want to boost my crash landing challenge. That did come up a few times in the comments of the Killjoys video, as expected, even offers to help me boost it. There's a reason I didn't recommend or mention boosting at all. For now, I'll keep holding out hope that this challenge may be changed to reflect the medals. If it did, I'd be done. I just recently finally got to 10 and now 11 of those medals. I will mention I now know why they aren't synced up. It isn't a bug per se. You can get a Ruin Shutdown medal by killing him very shortly after the slam goes off, as in even half a second is too long, but there's a tiny time frame for killing him on impact. Or for example, if you injure him and he dies on impact because of a barrel or a car, you'll get the assisted suicide and shutdown medal for that, but the challenge is only for a mid-air shutdown before the impact. That explains why most people have more medals than progress on the challenge. I still think the challenge should be updated to reflect the medal to make it a bit more reasonable if they aren't going to alter it in any other way. On top of hoping for a change, though, I have been trying my very best to actively hunt for them, as hard as that is. But as you saw, I doubled my count from 3 out of 10. I'm now at 6. I'm over halfway there. It took a ton of time and was not a fun way to play the game, as I expected, but I feel like I am getting better at hunting for them. When I'm focused, I know where the ruin is on the map at all times. My third eye is open. Game sense, IQ 300. Very possible I'll end up making a Crash Landing Revisited video, but I do still agree with everything I said in the first one. There are annoying things you can do to increase your odds, but it's very, very luck-based. A lot of people have been giving me my own advice. Like, I appreciate that people want to help me out in my struggle with this challenge, but just telling me to play hardcore, or to use X weapon or melee, or camp on the B flag or something, these are all ideas I covered in the video. I went through the pros and cons, and just because using a particular weapon happened to work out for you does not mean it is the secret key to unlocking the challenge. Like somebody said, use the Mozu. And that's it. I'm sorry, but what? That's exactly the type of advice I wanted to avoid giving, just based on a couple subjective experiences, because it really doesn't mean much. And just in general, it is kind of frustrating to see people comment the advice that I cover in the video. It happens all the time. I get it, people are gonna comment without watching the whole thing, but then when other people scroll down and see those advice comments, they might assume that me, the person making the video, is such a dumbass that I didn't think to include that advice in the video, and that's why someone commented it. But I did, I covered it. Like just now, before recording this on the score streak video, hardcore is a good way too, for the sentry kills. A significant portion of that video, early on, was discussing and proving why the sentry gun is more effective in hardcore. That addition was really not needed, good sir. Really grinds my gears, and yet it's hard to be mad since the intention of it is to be helpful. Well, dumb rant aside, the 100%er will elude me for a while longer. But you know what? Not that big of a deal. As much as it would be fun to flaunt my calling card, I have the privilege of sharing my challenge hunting escapades through these videos. It has been very therapeutic to complain about crash landing, so it's alright, I'll get there someday. And if you want to see my Dark Ops challenges, there you go. I haven't hunted for any of them aside from Gemmed Out, because that wasn't much effort. So nothing interesting, just a couple of the lower multi-kills from Nuketown, and shrug it off, all luck on that one. I just happened to be running Flak Jacket, lived in RCXD, and then killed the guy with a barricade of all things. So that brings us to the end of the recap. The only thing left to discuss is what comes next, both in terms of what I'll be playing and what I'll make videos about when I run out of challenges, which will be very soon. I'll make that final multiplayer guide to cover everything remaining, then I may make that updated Ruin Shutdown guide. Well, maybe still not much of a guide, but I can spend more time fully exploring all of the hunting ideas with less focus on just making fun of the challenge and ranting about it. But after that is done, I have no idea. I've seen some suggestions to cover zombies challenges, which could be fun, but it seems very late to dive into that. I'm not a zombies expert, and I'm sure all the guides that people need have already been made. I've also heard that the challenges are straightforward for the most part, and just require a lot of grinding. I enjoy some zombies here and there, and the zombies camo portion of my spreadsheet does call out to my completionist nature, but I can't see myself sitting there grinding out zombies day in and day out. It isn't as satisfying an accomplishment to me with there not being human opponents. Like for grinding out the zombies' headshots, there's no real challenge to it except sinking in the time. I know you could easily argue multiplayer feels just as repetitive, but to me, starting up a zombies game, getting to round 30 or 40, then saying, well, it might be more efficient if I restart, then doing the same thing again and again with a different weapon each time, it gets tiring. I guess zombies is much better as a social experience, so I may dabble in that, but I don't have any plans or any video ideas for zombies. Blackout, on the other hand, I would like to get back into. I've barely played any of it since I let the multiplayer 100%er journey consume all my free time. I do love Blackout, and Treyarch even recently announced in their Tuesday update thread that Mastery camos, Gold, Diamond, and Dark Matter, are coming to Blackout and Zombies to be separately unlocked in those modes, not just carried over from multiplayer. Maybe that annoys some people that just want to flex their multiplayer camo, but that has me excited. I think it'd be fun to earn Dark Matter in Blackout separately from multiplayer. It gives a fun reason to pick up different guns and go for some hot drops, so that'll be fun. But in terms of challenge guides, there isn't much for me to do there either. It's kind of the opposite of zombies challenges, which are mostly basic. The Blackout challenges are flippin' hard, man. Both grindy and often take actual skill to do. They aren't very guidable. Just having a strategy isn't going to get you by. I knew immediately, looking through the challenges way back at launch, I would not want to hunt for the Blackout 100%. Some of those skill and luck ones, like I hear people lamenting True Sniper all the time, and all the things about solo killing quads or winning as the last guy alive in your squad, I'm never gonna hunt for that. I'm never gonna say, hey team, can you all kill yourselves so I can clutch for the challenge? I got this. 'Cause I don't got this. I'd much rather play normally and have fun. That said, with private matches in the game now, it might be fun to test some things out and do some informative gameplay-related Blackout content that could tie into challenge advice. I would just have to find topics that haven't already been covered to death. I don't want to echo what has already been tested by someone like Ace or Drifter. No point in doing the same stuff. I have some ideas, but I don't know, a month from now when I get around to it, they may not be interesting anymore. I am off break, of course, times are getting busy again, so the videos will slow back down for a while, and maybe stop entirely when I completely run out of ideas. Hopefully not. I could always just cover news and updates. That can be fun, but like 50 other people are gonna rush out update coverage within hours of it coming out. I can't do that. So is there really any point, unless I have a unique enough take on it, I guess? Anyway, to summarize those ramblings, I don't know what I'll do next. Probably something Blackout related, but feel free to give some feedback of what you'd like to see. I'll stop talking now and go back to hunting ruin shutdowns. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.